Okay, now we are back. All right. Front pages of our local dailies on the Star. IBC wants manual results given priority. Electoral agency wants physically delivered results to take precedence over electronic transmission when differences occur. In proposed changes to the election laws, the IBC wants Parliament to pave the way for both manual and electronic transmission of presidential results. However, where there is a variance between the two, the physical results would supersede the electronic results. So it's one of the developing stories that IBC is trying to put forward, and they're now asking Parliament to make such changes on the election bill of 2021 to pave way for such changes. All right, on the front page again, shocker for ODM aspirants as Raila's party starts issuing direct tickets. I will give you details on that briefly. Supervisor and 63 candidates arrested in Kakuma camp. Again, a brief story there. Pressure mounts on Ruto to resign after defection. Pro-handshake team wants Jubilee MPs who have joined UDA to quit. This actually, they argued that his tenure has been brought into question after accepting nomination as the presidential candidate for the United Democratic Alliance. So they are requesting the deputy president to resign. Samburu shooters kill cop, steal 4 rifles and 200 bullets. It is said that they injured his colleague, the two officers. The gang, which is believed to have been on motorcycles, attacked Lodoko Jack police post on Tuesday night and shot dead Constable Joel Mushai. The number had not been established, and it's also reported that they injured his colleague, Constable Eric Miano, who was in the same house. They went ahead and broke into a metal box that contained 4 G3 rifles and escaped with them, plus the 200 bullets. So police are still investigating. But one piece says that bandits on revenge missions attack the area and steal animals. Others do so for cultural purposes, such as acquiring animals as a bride price and proving courage. Okay.
All right, let's now move on to the front page of the Daily Nation. So many stories have been featured here. We start with this first one concerning Keroche breweries as they roared back to life after the 957 million tax arrears deal was reached between Keroche administration and the Kenya Revenue Authority, which is said to be paid over a period of 2 years starting January of this year. So it will be backdated, and payments will be ongoing for the next 2 years. The next story, education still here. They go on to feature the cases concerning cheating that have been reporting during these exams, the KCSE. Even after show of tight security, KCSE exams leaked. This is a story that has been covered here in great detail on the back page, with concern being raised as more KCSE cases of cheating have been reported, with Tuesday having been the day that recorded the highest number of cheating, and especially so in Turkana West sub-county, which resulted in the arrest of many teachers and students that were found to be in possession of different variations of cheating paraphernalia in this particular case. Coming to the main story here on the front page of the Daily Nation, head to head. This is the battle between former Premier Raila Odinga and Deputy President Dr. William Ruto, and now it is a question of numbers and the battleground that stands between these two gentlemen, with estimated 8.4 million votes in areas that are perceived to be Raila strongholds, and Ruto has an estimated 8 million votes in the areas that are perceived to be his strongholds. But right there at the center, there is a loose 5 million votes that could be the swing that will determine which of these two leaders actually gets to win the August 9th, general elections. We'll be giving you details, of course. And finally, Odinga, he said, I will make Uhuru my advisor. And this was during the interview that he was having with BBC, saying that there is so much that we can benefit as a country from President Kenyatta, even as he goes into retirement. And of course, on one side, people are saying these are signs that the former Premier Raila Odinga might actually appoint the president in a certain capacity if he does become president. But we have seen the president insisting that he will go into retirement. And this is from past interaction. He has been keen on saying that he will go into retirement. But from what this is pointing, experts are saying the president could be ripe for opposition under the Raila administration. That is basically the front page of the Daily Nation for you this morning. The rest are just many figures that you would think are other stories, but it just goes down to break the numbers when it comes to this particular perceived strongholds between Raila Odinga and Dr. William Ruto. Doreen.
IBC is set to summon Gatundu South lawmaker, that is Moses Kuria, obviously over those remarks that he made during the UDA NDC. And the question perhaps is, why is this coming out now? Remember that also the Murang'a women representative made similar remarks concerning voter rigging and rigging claims. 9 days ago as well, the DP raised concerns while he was at the UK, saying that there's some factions who are planning to steal the election. Perhaps what informed the 2017 part of former Prime Minister's speech that was dubbed "Our Democracy is in Question." When you look at the voter apathy that really has dominated this year's voter listing, are there some of the reasons that have informed that? Why exactly is this coming out now? What does it say about our IEBC and the electorate altogether with just 144 days to the general elections? What does it say about our leaders? Why are these sentiments just coming out now? Is it really true that our democracy is in question? Some of the questions that we need to be asking ourselves, because, well, maybe not the first, not the second time. Is it set to continue coming out? And basically, what will the IEBC do this time around? So even as this is happening, Raila promises tough war on corruption, impunity. He has laid out strategies to deal with this once he is elected as president. That is what he has said. Of course, when we get the details, I'll be telling you perhaps how he plans to deal with that, given that that has been a big menace in this country. And also gloves off as Ruto takes war to Uhuru, whereby he is scheduled to campaign at President Ishaweri village in moves seen as taking on his boss directly. And also cell phones are the center of exams cheating. Looks like this particular story has just made its way on all the different dailies that we have today, as well as new tough rules for scrap metal dealers. And lastly, Keroche KRA enter an agreement on tax payment plan, whereby they are slated to do this over a period of 24 months. Regina.
Now, I pick it up from that issue on matters examinations. Remember, this is an exercise that has been keenly, been receiving a lot of government attention there, with various PSs and CSs traversing various parts of the country to ensure that this particular exercise is seamless. On the front page of this particular daily, that issue about, phones being a menace in as far as the transparency and accountability of the national examination is concerned. And these are sentiments that are shared by the Education Cabinet Secretary, Professor George Magoha there, saying that the government is considering the total ban of the use of mobile phones in schools during national examinations. We'll be giving you details of that and so much more. And also a story here that has been making headlines for the last 1 week or so, and this pertains matters of Keroche. Now, Keroche is set to reopen after it signed a deal with KRA, and it has been given 24 months to pay 957 million shillings in arrears, starting with a 21 million goodwill. For that to actually happen. At least remember, Tabitha Karanja, the CEO, had come out to say that if KRA doesn't open up the brewer then over 200 people are set to lose their jobs. So this is a welcome reprieve for those who benefit from that particular industry directly and indirectly. The main read this morning is all about politics, and the scribe here chose to go with Azimio fresh fight to force the deputy president to resign. And if you were watching our debate yesterday, where Victor Olo was engaging various analysts to just, try and understand the current political scene as is, and the question of now what happens to deputy president and his position within Jubilee, given that over the weekend at the NDC he was given, the mantle to be the presidential flag bearer for UDA. Questions were answered there. I'm sure Victor has more insight in regard to this matter. Now this has become an issue, and according to this particular paper, is that angered by Ruto's scathing and persistent attack on government, Uhuru and Raila allies have renewed their calls for him to quit, questioning his continued stay in the same government he's increasingly criticizing. Now, what we know, and the fact is that Deputy President William Ruto, as well as the President Uhuru Kenyatta, are somewhat tied to the hip, given that their election, they were elected, as a duo. So his term terminates when the president's term terminates. But what does it say when it comes to his participation or him being a member of Jubilee? Maybe Victor, you can remind us what the analysts had to say in regard to this matter. And quoted on this particular story also is Jeremiah Kioni, who says members of the Jubilee Party want to tell Deputy President that he's out of order. This is where we draw the line. Enough is enough. We say so because the Deputy President is an active member of what he called a mongrel government. Victor, you could probably weigh in on this. What was the take home from that particular conversation that you had yesterday?
Absolutely. And actually, from what you said, it answers everything. You remember, the Deputy President all through has been quite categorical that he would not resign. The reason is what you've just said. They were elected as a pair. The presidency, they are actually joined at the hip. So the moment the president will, exit office, that's the exact point the Deputy President will also quit. It becomes tricky. That is why you hear many calls for him to resign, not exit, or he cannot be expelled even by the party, because the moment they were elected as a pair, that is one. So if the president is feeling the heat, he has nothing to do. That is why yesterday Jeremiah Kioni, who is now the SecGen of Jubilee Party, they're still calling on the DP to quote unquote do the honorable thing and resign. Because as it is, there is no party discipline. Actually, most people have defected from Jubilee and joined UDA. Most people have defected from ODM and joined different parties, DAPK to ODM. There is no party discipline. Remember, we had a discussion here with Dr. Rotich yesterday, and that's exactly what he said, that there's nothing much that can be done. And that is why there are some changes which are supposed to be made in the elections laws in Parliament, to fine-tune some of these, the provisions in Parliament, where the president would be given that mandate to fire his deputy at whim. Because as it is, I think they've had some rough run in the administration. So, tutakaa tu mpaka mwisho.
Now, before I let you off the hook, and as we're closing this conversation about, the stories that have been making headlines and the various dailies, there's this issue of, direct tickets given to popular, or rather, the chosen few.
Yes.
We've had that exclusive interview there with Juni Karisa there, where he was talking to Shabal there, who went and said that the secret ballot is the only way to ensure that the real leaders, the ones that the constituents want, are the ones who are going to get those particular tickets. Now, also, on the other hand, the Orange Party says it has conducted an opinion poll in certain areas to pick most popular candidates for certain seats. Come April 21st, in your opinion, Victor, what do you expect to see?
it's a question again that I've asked so many people here, including legal minds. What's their take? You know, we have got universal suffrage, direct ticket, we have got secret ballot, and you know, it's now a coalition of parties. We have got over 10, 15 parties joining and forming the Azimio la Umoja coalition. So what will happen is that ODM and any other party, DAPK, call it Jubilee, KANU, Wiper, they'll go on the ground. And where they have some strength, for example, in this scenario, it's ODM. When they go to a particular region where ODM is dominant, then they will give a direct ticket. Because the moment they give the secret ballot, there will be a split in votes. Reason being, when Jane is popular in ODM and I am popular in Party X, and then we go on for a secret ballot, then I win and ODM loses, then most likely another candidate from a different party who is rivaling us would easily take that ticket or that seat. So what do? They will give that ticket to one strong candidate, the dominant party in that region, to avoid that fallout. And you see, that really saves a lot of time, resources, and even the fallout. And for those people who will not be given that chance, they'll be now required to support the candidate. So with ODM, actually there's that bit here on the Star, which says that ODM said it has finalized scientific opinion polls across the country and will issue certificates to aspirants with a wide lead. However, where there are no clear favorites, the party will hold primaries, also to be issued with direct tickets are single applicants. So that's exactly what I was talking about. So if Jen doesn't have any opponent or competitor, then she'll get that direct ticket.
And that's the same narrative that also UDA
yes.
a while back did say they're going to employ, because again, looking at the math that comes into play, looking at this area, who has the biggest chunk of votes or commands a big authority, it only makes sense to go that way. And actually, political critics are saying that this is something that strategists from UDA borrowed from Raila Odinga's history back in 2013 and in 2017. It was the same strategy that was applied when it comes to these nominations.
So direct nominations, Regina,
they're going to be there.
Could this be why the ODM is now requesting for police security during party primaries? That is the chair lady board saying that they want peaceful primaries. Perhaps what could be looming in there, that this is why they need security on board?
Absolutely. And you see, Regina, for example, you can imagine if you have 10 aspirants. Let me give an example of my county, Homa Bay County. There are so many aspirants there for the gubernatorial seat. So the party will have, they have got the intelligence on the ground. And the party knows that candidate X, Y, Z has more strength than all the candidates. So what are we going to do? Because I know there is party Y, X, and Z as well. I'm going to give Victor that ticket. Oh, I wish it was me. But then anyway, to save more time and resources.
Well, April 21st indeed is coming along. I think Shai, 1 month or so, Shai will see what is going to be happening. And trust me, if you think the political scene is hot, well, you ain't seen nothing yet. All I can tell you as constituents is that, you know, and Wanjiko, is that we need to know that your voice is your choice and it can only materialize at the ballot. Kagua kabla ya kuchagua, tafadhali.
Regina, which seat are you going for? Which seat are you running for?
At which seat am I going for?
I should host you here.
Hey, people in politics.
Yes.
Well, maybe in the next 5 or 10 years, I will actually take up politics. But for now, the seat that I occupy is that I'm the queen of my life, man.
Wololo.
I'm a monarch.
Q's West Life.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I'm a queen.
That brings us to a close of this segment. But do stay with us. We have so much more lined up for you coming up in just a bit. Stay with us.